Hello YouTubers! So here we have the iPod Touch 5th generation, and here is the Galaxy S2. One has a 4-inch display, one has a 4.3-inch display, AMOLED display, Retina display, and the brightness isn't up on full on that, but it is on that. Let's just have a look at the thickness comparison. So there you go. iPod Touch obviously is quite that much slimmer, but then it's only a iPod Touch, it's not a mobile phone. So let's have a look around it. Start from the bottom. So you've got your speaker grill there, you've got your lightning connector there, and the 3.5mm headphone jack. On this side we have the volume controls there. On the top we have the power on button and the sleep button there, and nothing on this side. On the back we have the 5 megapixel camera lens, which does 1080p HD video. You've got your microphone there and also your flash, the cutaway for the Wi-Fi, nice little Apple logo there, and then you've got your lanyard little doozy at the bottom there. On the front we have the 1.2 megapixel front facing camera that does 720p HD video, and then you've got your home button there, and you've also got your 4-inch Retina display there. Now I must say I do like this backing more than the 4th gen. Even with a case, the 4th gen still scratched up like nobody's business, and this just seems to be more durable. The quality of it does feel quite sturdy, but I must admit when I've been using it, sometimes I feel like I'm going to snap it in half, but that's only because it's so thin, I think. So that's a little quick look around. So here we have the lock screen. Now the different option that you have in the iOS 6 is that you can slide up into the camera. Also you've got the ability to slide to the right to have a look at what you've recorded or what pictures you've taken. Now as far as options is concerned, basically you've only got those. The HDR is a weird thing where it takes about 3 pictures and you basically get to choose which one is the best out of them and then keep that and get rid of the rest. The grid, obviously self-explanatory. Now the panorama I really like. You do hold it differently, but you can either take a 180-degree picture or you can take a long picture. So you just sort of move it along sideways, and I do like that. I think it is a nice little touch to it. So the other option that we have is to be able to have a look at what we've recorded or taken, and you can delete it or go to the camera roll, or that's your options basically. So let's go back to the camera. So now we have the front facing camera, and basically you've got no options at all. Go to the video, same kind of options. You can have a look at what you've recorded, you can record, and on the front you've got the option to turn the flash on or off, which you can do while you're recording, which I think is really good, and it's one of the things I like about this camera app. I only use the default really for when I'm taking front facing video, because I think it sort of, it gives quite good quality and all that. So let's have a look in settings, and we go to general and about. So there you go, iOS 6.0.1. It's the 32 gig version, and that's pretty much it. You've also got Siri, which I absolutely love. But the only problem is you need Wi-Fi to do it, and the Wi-Fi isn't very good up here. Now I think let's have a look at YouTube and the internet. Okay, so let's have a look at various different internet apps. First of all, let's have a look at see what the internet is like. So going to Google, it seems to respond pretty well. Now Chris C74 done. Let's have a look at that. So let's have a look at my blog. Dim be dim. Blinking Noras. The Camely OS 30. Cool, blimey. As you can see, you can zoom in pretty nicely, and that's quite clear, which is pretty good. Now I'll tell you one. I'm going to have a look at GSM Arena because it's quite a... Oh, this is the mobile version. Let's have a look at the desktop version because this is quite a heavy website. I mean, my tablet has issues with this, but that seems to have loaded up quite nicely and quite quickly actually. The zoom is pretty good. The responsiveness is pretty good. Yeah, so I'm quite impressed with that. That's quite good. So let's have a look at YouTube. Chrissy74. Chrissy74. Cool, that's going back a bit. So let's have a look at. Now that's one thing I like about this, that it actually automatically goes into the full screen. Okay, so I have the iPod Touch 4th Gen and the iPod Touch 5th Gen. I thought I would do a comparison video to show you guys what the two iPod Touches are like. Now I am actually... So that loads up quite nicely and the picture quality is pretty good. I would say that is just as good as my tablet. I think the Galaxy S2 is probably slightly better because of the AMOLED screen, but you know, the Retina display doesn't do too bad either. I mean, this is the mobile version of YouTube. Can I go into the desktop? I don't know. Will it let me go into the desktop? No. Probably here it will. There we go. So this is the desktop version. Will there be issues with flash? Oh, look at that. I mean, okay, it doesn't... Will it play? It'll probably put it straight into... yeah, it'll do that. I thought it would do that. So you haven't got Flash Player on there. You could probably load it, but to be honest with you, I don't think it needs it, to be honest. So yeah, that's quite responsive. I'm quite happy with that. Right, so let's have a look at the other stuff now. Okay, so you've got your calendar app, which is pretty good. Now the one thing I have found is that these, sometimes the littler buttons are a little bit tricky to press, but you know, after about 2 or 3 presses it seems to be okay. So I'll leave the video camera plus for now. Music, let's have a look at the music. Do that one. I would say it's about the same with this and with the iPod 4th Gen. It isn't really that loud, and if you want to sort of wail with it, you know, singing with it, then I would suggest you hook it up to a hi-fi or get a docking station. Now, one of the things that annoys me about this is the fact you've got the lightning connector, and it means that you've got to either get the adapter, which is like 25 or 30 quid, or you've got to get a new load of accessories that fit the iPod Touch 5th Gen, which I find is really annoying. So, but I shall talk about that more in my final thoughts, I think. So, let's have a look at the games. I was playing Angry Birds the other day, and it was just seemed to be working really well. Obviously, my ability to play it it's got to improve, but it works just as well on this as it did on the 4th Gen. I think the better thing about this is the fact that you've got the bigger screen, so it does help a lot, and it does make a difference. So that works just as well as it did with the 4th gen. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, let's have a look at the Video Camera Plus. So here we got the Video Camera Plus. Now the reason that shows up is because the volume buttons actually double up as a shutter button, which I think is quite groovy. So here you've got the options, you've got your flash, your timer, you've got your front facing camera option, which is there. Then you've got your video taking button, shows you what HD you're doing, recording in, what resolution you're recording in, and the image stabilization. Also you've got the ability to have a look at what videos you've taken or pictures. Now the only problem is with this is that you've got to, if you want to transfer the whatever you've taken from the iPod Touch onto your computer, you've got to manually copy it from the Video Camera Plus folder into your camera roll before you can actually get to it on the computer, which is a little bit annoying. I mean, I can't see why they couldn't have just automatically put it into the camera roll, but you know, maybe that'll be something that they will sort out in a future date. So here we got the settings for the front camera: continuous autofocus, auto recording, shutter sound, video stabilization, guidelines, which is there, and then you've got your qualities: 1080p, 720p, VGA. The medium I think is QVGA, and the low is really low. It's really bad quality. Having those extra options does make a huge difference, and I don't understand why Apple didn't put that in their app. It would have made life a lot better. But then for 69p, you know, it isn't a major issue. Go into information and about, and that's what the camera app is. So now what we'll do is go to the front facing camera, and we'll have a look at the settings in the front facing camera. More or less the same, only a couple missing. Video quality 720p VGA I think, and the low one is really low. It's worse than QVGA. I think it's lower than QVGA. I keep it on high because I like to use the 720p on the front facing camera. So you've also got your guidelines there, which is pretty good, and you've also got the continuous autofocus, which I didn't know the front facing camera had. As far as settings are concerned, pretty much the same as the front, but no flash. And you've got the option to be able to look at what you've recorded down here. So that's pretty much it for my look around. I hope you've been enjoying these videos. I'm not going to go into too much depth about what I feel about it because I want to leave that for my final thoughts. Okay, well I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll do some more later on. Bye bye for now.